High School for the start of tonight's Classic Lake first place showdown between Richfield and Wayzata. Bill, coming into this game, the Spartans and the Trojans both 2-0 in the Classic Lake, and also another team tied with them right now, Cooper Hawks, who are playing at Hopkins tonight.
It looks like Wayzata is going to have some people pushing them this year. You know, everybody thought Tonka and Edina were going to be the ones to really push, and early on it's Richfield and Cooper.
And Wayzata will receive the opening kickoff. Bill Dvorak, number 1, will kick off for the Spartans. Richfield in the white with the Cardinal numbers and trim. And Wayzata in their home blue with the gold pants and helmets. So rainy start, not necessarily a cold night. Temperature in the upper 60s at game time, but definitely a steady rain for the last 45 minutes. This is Tarnowski taking the football, coming up the left side, and is hit and dropped as he crossed the 30 and got to the 34. And that's where the Trojans will start the ball game. The Richfield defense in a moment on first down and 10. A handoff, and across the 35 to the 37 is Steve Porcaro, gain of 2, maybe 3 yards. Richfield defensively will start like this, and they had to make a couple of changes because of illness to Sean Clough, who was to be their starting defensive tackle tonight. So the defensive line looks like this. Brian Uso, Mike Stewart, Jason Kendrick, he's moved from linebacker to tackle to fill in for Clough, and Bear at defensive end. And the linebackers, Miller, Glotty, who's moved from a safety up to middle linebacker Patton, and then you see the rest of the defensive backfield. On second down, the first carry for Hansen, struggling out past the 40 to the 41-yard line. Tackle made by Troy Glotty. It'll be third down and 3 for Wayzata. Sisk, the receiver, to the right, and cutting and handing off at a big hole up the middle. This is going to be a touchdown for Aaron Redmond. Wayzata breaks on the board with a 59-yard TD.
It looked like there was a trap off of a counter action there, and Redmond just took it right behind the right guard, pulling back over the left side, and it was wide open. They really blew a hole open in that line. The left side of the Wayzata offensive line plus the right guard.
Ryan Kenny on to try the extra point. It is good, and Wayzata leads at 7-0 with 10:21 to play here in the first quarter.
Well, that's a real surprise right there. Not that we don't expect Wayzata to score, but to pop one for 60 yards off of basically an inside running play, that's kind of unusual. They may have caught Richfield with the linebackers up tight. We see a nice lead in there, counter action. You see, we saw that number
really
30.
shows some wheels there, didn't he?
That's right. Well, he gets through. You see, he gets right through the line, and there's nobody there. The linebackers are walled off. Watch Ben Duffy come into the picture right here at the end, though. That tells you the kind of speed Ben Duffy has. Number 22 for Richfield. But that's a nice run for Redmond and a nice offensive play for the Wayzata Trojans.
So the game, just a minute and 39 in, and Wayzata has the first score. Duffy and Matt Scanlon back deep to receive Kenny Enion's kick. And it's dropped and picked up again by Scanlon. He crosses the 20-yard line and maybe got to the 22. And that's where Richfield will start with the football. Offensively tonight for the Spartans, they'll go with Paul Scanlon at quarterback. They'll wear number 12. The backs, Ben Duffy, number 22, and Matt Scanlon, number 24. Those two are brothers. Mike Parton is the tight end, number 47. The split end, Chris Miller, 44. And Tony Johnson, the wide receiver. And the offensive line, Uso and Olson on the left. Troy Cotty is the center. Jason Kendrick and Aaron Barr are the right guard and right tackle, respectively. And a big run for Duffy, and he might go for Richfield on their first play from scrimmage. Look at this. 78 yards. Unbelievable.
Well, another 30 seconds on the clock, another touchdown.
Ben Duffy, who came in as one of the top rushers in the conference, fourth in the Classic Lake, averaging over 108 yards per game on the ground. He's well on his way to that tonight. 78 yards on Richfield's first play.
Well, this is a great run, great second effort by Ben Duffy. He gets caught up in the line right at the handoff and just breaks free, and there is nobody there to stop him.
Well, Bill, we're on our way to about a 50-49 game here.
That's right.
Extra point attempt by Dvorak, and he just hooked it inside the left upright, and Richfield ties it with 9:48 to play here in the first. And just 33 seconds after that last score. Here's another look at it.
You see that Duffy gets wrapped up by Rob Hansen, spins out of the tackle. He's got the speed. He's probably the fastest of the 22 players out there. There isn't anybody going to catch him. Again, we see he just gets wrapped up, spins away. Everybody gets sucked in, and he bounces out to the outside. That's just a great second effort on Ben Duffy's part.
Jeff Tarnowski almost had the angle on him, but another 10 yards maybe would have gotten him, but he just ran out of room.
Duffy ran right through the angle on that one. Well, this could end up being a track meet, John. I
don't know. Received Dvorak's second kickoff in the first 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Short kick, and again Tarnowski will run up and take it at the 20, 25. Oh, and he really got hit as he got to the 30-yard line. Nice tackle by Mike Parton, senior linebacker and tight end, dropping Tarnowski square on the 30.
And Parton really racked him. That was a big-time hit right there. You see the kickoff here. And you can see, boy, his direction was changed 90 degrees in one step.
Again, Paul Cunningham, a junior, starting at quarterback tonight for Wayzata. On the option keeper, gets to the 35, the 40, first down, 45, and out to the 47-yard line before he's brought down by Matt Scanlon. A gain on first down of 18 yards for Cunningham.
Nice run by Cunningham on the option keep. And, John, these are two of the best defenses in the Classic Lake Conference. And Richfield is first in rushing defense. And so far, it doesn't look like anybody's playing any rushing defense.
Sis, the bottom of your screen, split to the left. On first down, fumbles. A handoff went to Hansen, but it looked like Cunningham was alert and jumped back on it at midfield. And Wayzata does keep possession. It'll be second down and 8.
That handoff, either Hansen didn't know he was going to get the ball, or it was on his hip and he never felt it. You know, the fullback doesn't look for the football. He's just feeling for it. And if he gets it, he gets it. But the ball's down on his hip. He can't feel it, and he'll run right through it. And that's what happened. The ball just ends up on the floor, and Cunningham was quick enough to get on it before any of the Richfield players.
Sisk again, split left. 3 backs behind Cunningham. And this is Tarnowski, or Picardo, down close to the Richfield 40. Very close to a first down. He may be marked down just shy.
It's pretty close. It doesn't look like they're going to measure it, though.
It'll be third down and less than a yard.
And that counter play is working very nicely. The defense is really keen on Hansen, which they have to do. And what they're doing is they're sending 2 backs to the right or the left, and 1 back cutting back behind him to set up the counter.
It's Hansen on third and short. He didn't get a lot, but he got definitely enough for the first down. Close to the 40-yard line. And Wayzata keeps their second drive alive. We'll have first and 10 from the Spartan 40.
After the first down, Wayzata first and 10 on the Richfield 40-yard line.
And we've yet to have a pass thrown in this game, John. This may be a real run fest tonight, at least here in the first half.
From the 40-yard line, Streeter with his first carry tonight to the 35-yard line. Mark Streeter, 5'8", 153-pound senior. Roger LaPelle has about 6 backs. He's comfortable shuffling in and out of the backfield.
And he's giving everybody a shot right away here. That's kind of nice. He's used 2 full sets of halfbacks already, and that's good. It keeps the kids interested in the game, keeps them all tuned into what's going on, and that way they don't miss a step when they shuttle people in and out.
2nd down and 5. Hansen gets the carry, gets to the 33-yard line, a gain of 2. Tackled from behind by Jason Kendrick, who we talked about in the pregame. Coach Todd Olson told me this week that Kendrick is the best overall football player that he's had to coach since he's been the head coach at Richfield, 55 and white.
And you can see that he comes right down the line of scrimmage. He hasn't played in the line much this year. He's been a linebacker, but he had very good technique coming right down the line of scrimmage and nailing Rob Hansen from the back. It's a good thing Hansen has a strong shirt, or Kendrick might not have brought him down.
3rd and 3 for the Trojans from the Richfield 33. Cunningham keeping, has a 1st down and more. He's into the open to the 15, 10, 5, and a touchdown for Wayzata. Paul Cunningham for the score from 33 yards out.
That's our 3rd 30-plus yard rushing touchdown in less than 7 minutes. John, that's kind of unusual. Both teams have just run the ball right at each other, and they're moving it.
Kenny Anion on to try to add his 2nd extra point tonight. It is up and good. 14-7, Wayzata with 5 minutes and 55 seconds to play in the 1st quarter.
Here we see a good shot of Paul Cunningham, junior quarterback. He's had 2 real nice runs on the option keep, and the Richfield defense really seems to be keying in on the other running backs. Maybe they want to force the quarterback to carry the ball. Sometimes when you're not sure of a quarterback defensively, you want to take away their best runners and force their weakest runner to carry the ball. But so far tonight, Paul Cunningham's proved to be a pretty good runner.
Nigel LaPelle this year with 2 junior quarterbacks, Cunningham and Sisk, who he has alternated by quarters, and we'll see if he does that tonight.
You see, Cunningham makes a real nice move after the fake to Hansen. He turns upfield and then turns back outside to his left and gets past the cornerback, who was being very well blocked by Cunningham's partner, Sid.
Duffy and Matt Scanlon deep again to receive Kenny Enion's kick. And it'll bounce over Duffy's head. That's a free ball. He's going to go back and field it at the 3. Gets to the 10, to the 20. Out of the 30, Duffy to the 35. Breaks another tackle. He's out to midfield. Duffy might go all the way on this one.
Nobody's going to catch him.
Duffy for a touchdown.
Nobody's going to catch him.
Unbelievable. 97-yard kickoff return.
Boy, and that ball popped off the ground to go over his head. And he found a seam and broke 2 tackles in 97 yards. Bring out the oxygen, John. We're going to need it tonight. These kids are going to be tired running up and down the field here.
Public address announcer announced as 100 yards. We'll have to see exactly where he picked that up. He looked to be a couple of yards in front of the end zone.
It can't be in the end zone
close.
because in high school ball, it's a touchback. So we'll see here, the ball bounced over.
No, I guess it would be.
He did go right back to the end line as he picked the ball up. He makes a nice move here on Kenny Enion and breaks that tackle. And you can see him just pull away from everybody. 4 guys look like they have a chance at him. And he pulls away.
Dvorak gets the extra point. We'll give him 99 yards officially, Bill, on the kickoff return. And we have played 6 minutes and 22 seconds, and we've got a 14-all tie.
I don't know if they have enough digits on the scoreboard to handle this pace, John.
It's going to be a little disheartening for Wayzata to have this happen. They have a big play on the 3rd play from scrimmage, then get the ball the 2nd time and drive down the field and score, and then Richfield's had the ball 1 offensive play plus a kickoff, and they've been able to score 2 touchdowns.
That's right. It's very unusual to get.
He broke Kenny Enion's tackle. He saw at about the 40.
And you just see he just has more speed than everybody else there. Nobody's going to catch him.
The only one to finally get a hand on him at the end was Matt Rose, but he was already across the goal line.
It's very unusual to see a team have 14 points and only have 1 run, 1 play. And I'm sure Coach Olson would like to keep that that touchdown per play ratio up.
Hutchison and Tarnowski. This time will be the first time for Hutchison. Actually, will be taken by one of the upbacks, Scott Winter, who has a short return up past the 25 to the 27. So Wayzata successful on offense. Their first 2 drives will start again. Well, we look at the Wayzata bench, and a little disappointed about the way they've let Richfield back into a tie twice in the first 6+ minutes.
At this pace, John, we're going to have about a 28-28 game at the end of the quarter.
Third series will be Jerry Sisk to start at quarterback. The handoff is to Hansen. Hop carries out past the 30 to the 34. Now, he didn't look like he got a whole lot on that bill, but he ended up with 6 yards.
But they're getting a real good push off the line of scrimmage with their center and 2 guards. They're all 3 of those guys are pretty good sized lads, and they're getting a good push in the middle, and that just gives Hansen the room to need. He's not real mobile, and he's not going to juke anybody, but at 250 pounds, he can run over him and still make a hole.
Cunningham was the quarterback to start. Now a receiver to the right. Sisk with a little foot back. Inside cut for Redmond, who had the long touchdown run on the first drive, and picks up a first down here, carrying the ball to the Wayzata 44.
And Redmond makes a nice, on this toss sweep, makes a nice cut right here. You see the cutoff angle by the linebacker, cuts inside the pursuit of the linebacker and gets a nice run. We've got a Richfield player shaken up on the place, number 58, Troy Glotty, who is replacing Kendrick at the linebacking spot. So that's a...
Yeah, Troy Glotty's kind of an interesting story just because of the positions he plays offensively and defensively. If it had not been of the illness to Clough tonight, Glotty would have been the starting center on offense and strong safety on defense.
Yeah. Well, I think in Coach Olson's defensive scheme, they play their strong safety very much like another linebacker, like an outside linebacker. So it's, but still, that's an awfully unusual combination. You don't usually see a center safety combination.
Tarnowski and Streeter, the halfbacks, Hansen the fullback, and he has nowhere to go on 1st and 10 from the 44. Call it no gain. Good defensive play for the Spartans. Brian Uso and Aaron Bear.
It looked like Aaron Bear made a nice play coming down the line of scrimmage to wrap Hansen up after he was stopped. And I think that's the real key to stopping Rob Hansen, is don't let him get any momentum. Get him be at or in back of the line of scrimmage.
And off Tarnowski across the 45 to the 47-yard line. Gain of 3.
They're really being very conservative with their play calling so far tonight, John. Coach LaPelt has kept the ball inside the tackles more than any place else.
Yep.
I'm sure he feels like he's got a good, strong inside game, and his halfbacks as well as his fullback Hansen run the ball well inside.
13 plays from scrimmage so far, Bill, for Wayzata, all on the ground. Sisk almost hit as he handed the ball off, and that causes a fumble and a first turnover of the game as Richfield recovers. Ben Cibula, looks like, or
I think
recovering, or was it Sandell? 82.
Cibula or Sandell came in, but it was Kendrick, I think, that really caused the disruption. We'll see that somebody gets in right there and grabs Sisk. It's Kendrick that grabs Sisk and separates him from the ball and the halfback. And I couldn't tell. Was it Cibula?
No, it was Sandell that recovered the football for Richfield.
That's a nice thing to do. You get your first start and get the first turnover of the game when you're filling in for somebody that's sick.
1st and 10 from the Wayzata 44 for Richfield. And they carry to the 39. It's Ben Cibula, who is another player that starts on defense, that plays a lot of offense. He didn't start the game offensively, but he will see quite a bit of action for Coach Olson tonight.
You see a nice inside handoff. Pretty good wall off by the right side of the offensive line to give Cibula some running room there.
This has been such a wild start, Bill. We haven't had a chance to set the Wayzata defense for you. We'll do that after this play.
They've only been on for 2 plays,
right,
John.
2nd down and 5 for the Spartans. Hand off, or it's keeping the quarterback and carrying 4 first down. Paul Scanlon getting to the Wayzata 33.
Scanlon made a nice move as he came down the line. It looked like he was going to pitch the ball. He stopped and then turned upfield, and that slowed the defense down.
First down and 10 from the 33. Here's our Wayzata defense. Kevin Newhouse and Scott Alders are the ends. And the tackles, Rory Nelson, Rob Hansen, and Chris Lindell also in there. Winter and Moore, the linebackers, Kenny Indian, Tarnowski, Porcaro, and Porish in the defensive backfield. They go with the 5-man front. And it's Duffy, the ball carrier.
And Duffy fumbled it.
He ended up losing it. Yes, and Wayzata recovers. Scott Winter, the senior linebacker, number 34, comes up with it.
It's kind of unusual for Ben Duffy to drop the ball like that, but it looked to me that ball hit him right in the thigh. Looks like Scanlon hit him right in the thigh, and that ball just popped right away from him. His ball went about 6-7 yards right into the hands of Winter.
1 minute and 40 seconds to play in the first quarter. 14 all ties. Wayzata has it 1st and 10 from their 27. Sisk pitching to Tarnowski, cuts back inside. He had a nice run to the 34-yard line. Jeff Tarnowski, a junior, 5'11", 165-pounder, picks up 7 yards on first down. Each team with the fumble here in the first quarter. And neither team has attempted a pass yet. Handoff, Hansen out to the 39-yard line. That will be a Wayzata first down. Tackle made by Luis Oliveira.
I think this is where we'll find that Hansen will wear people down. You've noticed that they're still hammered. They're going to hammer him inside, and he's going to wear people out. Those inside 4 people are going to get tired of hanging on him.
6 brings the offense to the line. And he'll keep it and pitch it. Tarnowski trying to turn that right corner and gets to the 44-yard line. Gain of 5.
Nice tackle by Jeff Johnson out there on the corner. And nice option pitch by Sisk and Tarnowski there. The option in this kind of weather, John, is really, it's not that hard to run, but it's tough to stop because the defense has to keep moving towards the football, and it gives the running back the cutback angles a lot of times.
Here's Porcaro on the carry, breaking tackles across midfield into Richfield territory, and down to the Spartans 44. Gain of 12 for Steve Porcaro. The Trojans have run 18 plays so far from scrimmage. 12 of them have been for 5 yards or more.
They're really moving the ball. Their offensive line seems to be really keyed tonight, and they are really doing a fine job of blocking the interior 4 people of the Spartans.
Give it to Hansen, and still on his feet and breaks down to near the 35. He was hit about 3 yards after the line of scrimmage by Aaron Bear, knocked him down and carried for about 8 yards. That play, the last of the first quarter, and certainly a wild start here at Wayzata. Richfield and Wayzata tied at 14. We'll have more action on Cable 12 Sports in just a moment. John Jacobson and Bill Hunstock back at Wayzata High School. First play of the second quarter. Hand off to the fullback Rob Hansen, who got a yard to the Richfield 35. It will be 3rd down and 1 for the Trojans. 14-14 as we begin the second quarter of play. The rain, which was quite heavy earlier, is still coming down, but now just a light rain on the field. Sisk on 3rd and short will pitch back to Porcaro. Has a lot of open room. And carries it all the way down to inside the Richfield 10-yard line. Steve Porcaro with a pickup of 25.
Just a really nice option by the entire offense that time. All 11 people did exactly what they should do. That was just a classic look at the option, John. And the Richfield defense is just getting pulled in to stop the inside plays, and they're leaving one guy on the corner with both the ball carrier and the pitch man coming at him, and that's tough to do.
On first down, it's Tarnowski struggling for a couple of yards to the 8. It was a first and goal situation, although the ball was just about 10 yards away from the goal line. Second down and goal. And they'll actually mark the ball closer to the 9, so only a 1-yard pickup for Tarnowski. From the left hash mark, the pitch to Tarnowski, trying to go the short side, and is strung up right at the line of scrimmage and may have even lost a yard. Bob Olson, 6'1", 220-pound senior, number 56, in on the stop for the Spartans.
Nicely done on that. Olson got right down the line of scrimmage. You see right there, 2 Spartans waiting for the ball carrier right there, so virtually no gain on that toss sweep.
Third and goal. Ball squarely on the on the Richfield 10-yard line. Sisk, option right, will pitch the ball. Redmond trying to find a hole, gets inside the 5, maybe to the 4-yard line. It'll be fourth down and goal. Now we'll see if we see Kenny Indian on for a field goal attempt, and that is what we're going to have here.
This is the 5. It's going to be a fourth and goal.
So many white shirts found him at the end.
Well, he got right out there, and they did it that time. They did a good job of working from the inside out and not giving him any cutback and no place to run around.
21-yard field goal attempt is no good. Hooked it to the left, and we're still tied at 14. Richfield will take over first and 10 at their 20.
Looked like Ryan Kenny Indian caught that one right on the toe of his foot, and not with the instep or the flat part of his forefoot, and didn't really get anything on it. We've seen him kick the ball a lot farther and a lot harder than that one. He just kind of chunked that one off to the left.
Bill, but Richfield certainly encouraged that their team is tied at this point. One thing that I'm sure Todd Olson was a little concerned about is how much his defense has had to play. We've had 28 plays in this game. Richfield has run just 4 of them from offense, and Wayzata 24.
And that's almost a full half for a lot of high school teams, 24 plays.
Well, ball on the ground, and I think Wayzata came up with it. Trying to get it to Matt Scanlon, and Wayzata recovers.
Well,
looks like it might have been Brian LaLoop, senior linebacker, number 36, that came up with it.
Well, we get a look at it here, and it looks like both Scanlons get stripped as the ball, and I don't know who was it that got the hand in there and separated it right at the handoff. That's unfortunate for Richfield, because that isn't bad ball handling. That was just a great defensive effort by one player getting his hand in on the ball. But this is very discouraging for both the offense and defense of Richfield. They've only run 4 plays, and they've had two fumbles and a 78-yard touchdown.
6 doesn't have all his players, so he didn't see something anyway, and he calls timeout. First timeout of the half. Stopping the clock with 8 minutes and 34 seconds to play in the second quarter. Northwest Community Television's viewer response line is for your comments on our programming. Let us know if you're watching tonight's game between the Spartans and the Trojans by calling the NWCT viewer response line at 533-1710. Well, as we mentioned at the top of the show, this game for first place in the Classic Lake, although Cooper could tie or would tie the winner here tonight if they're able to knock off Hopkins. Armstrong's had an improved club this year. They're 1-1 in the league, just about beat Wayzata a couple of weeks ago. They're at 2-1. Hopkins, Minnetonka, Edina, and St. Louis Park all under 500 overall. Park without a win in 3 games this season. Edina, people thought would be a little bit better, and they started out slow, 1-2 overall.
And they started off, their first game was a big win, and they really haven't been able to put it all together since then.
Yeah, they went up to Cambridge for their first game of the season and won up there.
And you know, Cambridge is perennial power. They single A champions, and there's George Larson up there. He had a gang up there for a number of years, so it was kind of funny that Edina hasn't done anything since the first week.
1st and 10 from the 17. First pass attempt of the night is incomplete, intended for Hansen. Coverage by Cibula. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
And they definitely will not want to be watching the film on Monday afternoon on that play, because number 87, Justin Long, was all by himself in the middle of the end zone, and there wasn't anybody within 10 yards of him. Somebody blew the middle third of the field coverage, and Sisk wasn't able to pick it up.
2nd and 10, they go back to the ground. It's Porcaro inside the 15 to the 13-yard line. Gain of 4 for him. 3rd down and 6 for Wayzata.
13 is going to bring up third about 7.
Streeter and Tarnowski return to the offensive backfield. They're the halfbacks. Hansen, the fullback, as he has been all night. Sisk pitching out. Streeter breaks a tackle behind the line of scrimmage and runs to inside the 10, very close to the first down sticks.
Very close. He broke a tackle in the backfield where he was nailed for a 2-yard loss and ran right out of the tackle. And at 150 pounds, 160 pounds, whatever he is, he was made a nice run to get up to near first down range. You'll see right here, nice option pitch. Not a good tackling effort by Brian Yusso. Streeter runs right out of his arms.
They're not going to measure. It's less than a yard, but it is definitely 4th down for Wayzata. And this time they will go for it. Cunningham, the receiver, left. And I'm sure we're going to see Hansen or the quarterback keep it here. It's Hansen, the fullback, getting the carry. And he has a first down at the Richfield 5.
Well, all five interior linemen got off right at the snap of the ball that time, and there was no doubt that Hansen was going to make that one. They had about 3 yards before he handed the ball.
1st and goal, Wayzata from the 5. Here's a look at it again.
You can see how many blue shirts are pushing off coming downfield. Not bad defense, but when you only need a yard and you've got a 250-pound fullback, that's a tough one to stop.
Officials timeout. Or will this be charged to one of the teams? Louis Richfield will take a timeout, so each team has used one here in the 2nd quarter. Bill, something exciting coming up for our Classic Lake football fans on October the 14th. All 8 teams will play in the Metrodome that day.
That's going to
starting at 2 o'clock. Wayzata will kick it off against Edina. Armstrong and Hopkins in the 2nd game. I believe St. Louis Park, Minnetonka in the 3rd. Cooper, who was that leaving them with?
Cooper and Minnetonka.
Minnetonka last game.
That'll be an interesting, you know, the Northern Sun and the MIAC have been playing in the Dome pretty much regularly every year since the mid-'80s, and it's quite a thing. And when we were at Augsburg, that was really a highlight of the season, finishing up the season, going in and playing in the Dome. Didn't make any difference whether you were playing at 2 o'clock in the afternoon or 10 o'clock at night. We had one game one year, we started at 10 o'clock at night, and that's an awfully late start, but when you get a chance to play in the Dome and it's 20 degrees outside, you don't mind it.
Cooper Richfield, I think, is that last game. On 1st and goal, it's Tarnowski, the ball carrier. Brings it 2 yards to the 3. With a 2nd down and goal there. Wayzata getting a chance to face their top challengers here in the 3rd and 4th weeks. Tonight it's Richfield. 4th and 5th weeks, rather. Richfield tonight. Next week they play Cooper over at the neutral site, Minnetonka. Of course, Cooper and Armstrong playing without a home field this year. Milky Field has been torn down and building smaller complexes at each of those high schools. And up again, Tarnowski lunges forward to the 2.
That was a very good defensive effort. The defensive linemen looked like Luis Oliveria and maybe Troy Glotty really surged in low. We'll see a low charge in there, taking legs out from the lead back Hansen and from Tarnowski to limit that gain to only about a yard.
3rd and goal. Ball still outside the 2. And it's Porcaro, 2nd or 3rd effort, got him into the end zone.
Well, that was a nice effort by Porcaro, but he was stopped cold. He should have been nailed for no loss. That's just a tremendous 2nd effort.
Wayzata retaking the lead with 5:11 to play in the 2nd quarter. Kenny Mannion for the extra point. And this one is no good. So he hooked a field goal left, and now does the same with the extra point attempt. No.
Well, I don't know if 20
Kenny
points will win this game either.
A little disappointed in himself that he missed that.
He looked like he didn't really get a good follow through on that kick. But see, a nice effort. Hey, look, Porcaro looks like he stopped dead still. Right here, nice hit, stop, nice leg drive, and runs right out of the tackle into the end zone. Well, this may be the most dangerous play of the night right here. I think they need to get the ball to Ben Duffy here a couple more times. He's handled the ball 3 times and scored 2 touchdowns.
Kenny Indian to kick off. And they'll kick it to Matt Scanlon, who's the back on the left. He's got Duffy, and he'll give him the football. Duffy trying to find an opening, and this time is going to be brought down. Well, they finally found a way to stop him.
That kickoff just took too much time to set up and too long running back and forth parallel to the line. We see Scanlon runs a long ways, and then Duffy's got to run a long way to get to the wall, and he just too long going sideways and not enough going towards the goal line.
So that puts Richfield inside their own 20. They'll start this series with under 5 minutes to play in the half. And the pitch is to Duffy, and he's knocked down in the backfield for a loss of 2. Good defensive play by Alex Moore, junior linebacker, who broke through a block and was the one that made contact with Duffy in the backfield to drop him for a loss of 2. Richfield hurt the last 2 possessions by fumbles.
That's right. You can't give up the ball and not have it hurt you somewhere along the line. They've got to get themselves going here. They really haven't generated any offense at all tonight, John. They've had 1 long run for a touchdown and 2 fumbles, and that's been it.
It's the quarterback Scanlon on the keeper. Paul Scanlon carries to the 21-yard line.
Drives the ball up to the 21-yard line.
Still 3rd down and 7 for Wayzata, for Richfield.
You see, Scanlon, we talk about this almost every week, and when he gets a wide open middle with nobody between the inside shoulders of the guards, he's gonna touch and go with the center.
Matt Scanlon in motion. The pitch is to Duffy. Duffy, and he's got a first down out to the 30-yard line. Tackle made by Scott Winter. Well, that's a pickup of 10 yards.
Stop by number 34, Scott Winter. After Scanlon gets it up to the first down, up to the 30-yard line. Richfield ball, 1st and 10.
Ben Duffy really can accelerate. I don't know if you noticed on that, John. You see a good shot of Coach Lapelt. He doesn't like it when the opponents gain 10, 12 yards on a play, but Ben Duffy accelerates as quickly as anybody I've seen in high school football in a number of years.
And Duffy, he looked like that could have been a big play, and he was stopped at the 35-yard line. I think that was
Ryan Porsche.
Ryan Porsche,
yep,
coming up to make the stop.
And you'll see Duffy really gets going. You see how quickly he moves right here. But Porsche, look at that form tackle, chest to chest, leg lift, and he pulls him right up off the ground. When the running back's feet come off the ground, he isn't going anywhere. It's still a 5-yard gain.
Ryan Porsche, senior captain. And that got nothing. No gain. They try to go straight up the middle.
That was just squeezed down right from the very start. There was never a hole, never any place to run.
Cibola, the ball carrier. It's now 3rd and 5 for the Spartans.
And we got about 1 minute and 50 seconds to go in the half, so they're going to need to get the ball in gear here if they want to tie or take the lead at halftime.
Scanlon in motion. The pitch is to Cibola. And he's got a Richfield first down on past the 40 to the 41. Tackle made by Winter and Justin Asher. Gain of 6 on the 3rd down play.
42-yard line. The minute 36 to go in the half.
Maybe that's what will frustrate defensive coaches as much as anything, Bill, when you've had the team in 3rd and medium to long and give up first down runs.
Especially on the ground like that, you've got to think that you can stop them with 3rd and 7 or 8. That you're going to stop them on that, particularly if they run the ball, and it hasn't been the case the last couple of plays.
Meanwhile, the clock has moved to within a minute and a half of halftime. 1:15 as we'll have the snap of the ball here. And Scanlon is hit as he got the ball. Man, that was hit right at the line of scrimmage.
He was drilled. He really took a shot right at the line of scrimmage. We'll see here on the dive play. I don't know who that is that comes in. It's somebody on the left defensive end, maybe Ninehouse. Could it be Kevin Neuenhouse, but somebody really came down the line of scrimmage and popped Scanlon right there at the line, and he had nothing.
Richfield taking timeout with 1 minute and 1 second left to go before halftime. Coach Chappelle coming over and saying hello to one of the Wayzata fans out behind the bench. And Trojan students don't seem to mind getting a little wet tonight.
No, they're having fun. This is a great crowd here tonight. Full stadium here on the Wayzata side.
Well, we mentioned the rain, and obviously you've been able to see that, but the temperature is really not that bad. It's a comfortable night.
It's really very nice tonight. A lot more comfortable than we were told it was going to be, that's for sure.
I was going to say a lot more comfortable for us. We're inside anyway, so. 2nd down and 10. No gain on that first down run by Scanlon as Duffy tries the left side. And Duffy spins out of a tackle. The ball comes loose near the sideline. It's Richfield with the football. That's an 8-yard gain for Duffy. It'll bring up 3rd down and 2 Ball still in play, and so the clock continues to run down to 35 seconds left in the half.
And Richfield doesn't seem to be too interested in stopping it. They're not going with a no huddle. They're not too worried about rushing in and out. I guess they're going to figure they're going to score or they're not going to score, and they're not going to worry about the clock too much.
Paul Scanlon, the quarterback. Matt Scanlon in motion. Duffy grabbed by Hansen from behind and pulled down. He is short of a first down. It's 4th down for Richfield. And now a timeout called by Richfield with 6 seconds to play.
Well, I don't understand why you call timeout. Did Wayzata call timeout?
Not Richfield.
Why would you? I don't understand why you would call timeout with 6 seconds to go in the half when you hadn't used your timeouts the whole previous 2.5 minutes.
Last year, when these teams played, a high-scoring affair over at Richfield, 28-19, a Wayzata victory. A lot of big plays in that one. That has been what's characterized tonight's game as well.
How many plays did you say that Wayzata has had over 5 yards? There's something like 13 or 14 plays they've already had that are over.
12 of the first 18. I'll have to add it up again here at halftime, but it's at least half of their offensive plays have been 5 yards or better. Well, let's see if they'll send all the receivers out. Tony Johnson is the only receiver that they show. Split to the right. This looks like it's going to be a halfback pass, though, by Scanlon. It is, and it's incomplete, underthrown. Closest one to the ball was Wayzata's Ryan Kenny-Indian, and that will be the end of the first half. Our halftime score is Wayzata 20 and Richfield 14. Bill and I will be back with more high school football from Wayzata High School in just a moment. John Jacobson and Bill Hunstock back at Wayzata High School, where the Trojans carry a 20-14 lead over Richfield into the second half. And a first half, especially the first 6+ minutes, dominated by big plays. Scoring was started on the third play from scrimmage. Aaron Redmond of Wayzata taking it 59 yards for a touchdown. Kenny Enion the kick to make it 7-0 Trojans. Then on the next series, Richfield, after the kickoff, returned to their own 22. It was Ben Duffy on their first run. 78 yards for a score. Bill Dvorak the kick to tie it at 7. Wayzata comes back, puts together a nice drive, and it was capped off by a 33-yard run by quarterback Paul Cunningham to put Wayzata up 14-7. Richfield comes back on the next kickoff. Duffy going 99 yards for a score. Dvorak's kick tied it at 14. And things settled down for about a quarter, and then Wayzata took it in. Picaro from 2 yards out. The kick failed, and that makes the score 20-14. That touchdown run by Picaro was set up by Richfield football. They fumbled the ball twice in the second quarter, losing both of them. Wayzata with one turnover, also a fumble in the second quarter, and losing it to the Spartans. Total plays in the first half, Richfield with 15 plays from scrimmage, 124 yards, all rushing. And for Wayzata, 31 offensive plays, 235 yards on the ground, no yards passing. Each team 0 for 1 trying to throw the ball tonight.
And it's not that bad of weather for throwing the football, John. They just have committed themselves to the running game and just aren't doing a thing throwing the football.
Kenny Enion's kick to start half number 2 is a short one, and it's taken by Johnson, and he's run down on a nice tackle by Brian LaLoop as he came across his own 30-yard line.
This is about the best field position the Richfield's had the ball starting in tonight. Johnson got the short kick out fairly decently, and LaLoop making a nice hit to stop what could have been a pretty good gain.
Again, Paul Scanlon is the quarterback. 5'10", 190-pound senior, number 12. Johnson in motion near side. And the give on first down is to Duffy, and he gets to the outside again, and Duffy is off to the races. Look at this, and Duffy all the way down inside the Wayzata 20-yard line. It's the first quarter all over again.
Well, that's the type of play that Richfield has done well with. The straight pop they've done very well with. And Duffy certainly can move with the football. As we see here, he gets through the line of scrimmage, runs out of a tackle, and we know that he can accelerate. Look at him get past people right here. He just runs right by a lot of people. The only guy that even has a chance at him is Kenny Enion, who had the angle coming all the way from the left cornerback.
47-yard gain to start the second half. First down and 10. Richfield at the Wayzata 20. Johnson again, motion right. Scanlon on a rollout. And he maybe got a yard to the 19. Not too much on that near side of the field. On the short side, I should say, as they tried to run that way from the left hash mark.
Now, the short side of the field is a tough place to go with the option. We see here he fakes to Duffy and gets out around the corner. Doesn't have much because he can't turn up field soon enough. But Duffy does a nice job faking and drawing a hit to get Scanlon around the corner.
Gain of 1, second down and 9. Johnson in motion again. Scanlon again. Pitch Duffy. Slipped a little bit, I think, as he tried to make a cut and got spun around and brought down.
There's just too many blue shirts out there for Ben Duffy to deal with on that one. The line's got to come off the ball a little bit harder, and they've got to hook up a little bit better in order to give this thing a chance.
Loss of 2 on the play as we look at it again.
They say that not too much. They see an awful lot of blue shirts and awfully few white. That's something that I know Ben Duffy doesn't like to see.
So 3rd and 11 for Richfield from the 21. Sybil out of the backfield, motion left. Scanlon to throw, and it's incomplete. In and out of the hands of the intended receiver. That's Mike Parton, the tight end. They couldn't hang on down near the 10.
Very catchable ball, too. That's really not a bad pass. Nice dive fake. You see the Parton's wide open. The ball's right up on his chest. He just doesn't bring it in. And that's the kind of thing that kills you, because that would have been a nice 11 or 12-yard gain. Would have put them right down into the scoring position. Now they got 4th and 11. This is a tough call. I don't know if there is a good 4th and 11 play, John.
Chris Miller split to the left. Duffy going in motion. Leaving the 1 back Scanlon. He'll throw back across the field, and it's Scanlon, the quarterback, making the catch. And it'll be 1st and goal as he's brought down inside the 4. How about that for a razzle-dazzle? Matt Scanlon to his brother Paul, the quarterback, had a gain of 17 yards and a Richfield first down.
Well, we've seen him run both the toss sweep and the toss sweep pass. Now the toss sweep throwback. And you see that Paul Scanlon's wide open. Brother Matt just lays it out over his shoulder for him, and they get the ball 1st and goal. Now, I guess that's a good 4th down play, John. Now we know one that will work, right?
We'll remember that for our next game.
Next time we'll remember that. Quarterback, throwback.
1st and goal for Richfield. A chance to tie it here if they can get into the end zone and possibly even take the lead with an extra point. And Hartley touched his Scanlon as he goes in for the touchdown. Matt Scanlon, the junior, in from 4 yards out.
Well, they really set themselves up nicely with the quarterback pass and very nice blocking by the right side of the Richfield offensive line to get Matt Scanlon into the end zone there.
Dvorak for the extra point and the Richfield lead. Jason Fieldman to hold, gets it down, and the kick is blocked. It never really got up in the air.
No.
And the game stays tied at 20. Maybe that's appropriate for that to happen.
Saw something about that spot on the field. Every kick from that spot of the field has been chunked off to the left, and I don't know if that was a real good snap. It's hard for us to see with the holder with his back to us, but that may not have been a real good spot on the tee. We see that Scanlon comes in, and he barely gets touched, as you said, John, just right through the line. We see a pretty good block by number 21, Ben Cibula, to widen that hole a little bit, and the offensive line did their job. They came off the ball hard and hooked up everybody so that nobody had a chance at stopping Scanlon.
Richfield is, you kind of see it on the wide shot there, Bill, a little bit different formation on their kickoff. Instead of everybody up on the line, they've got 4 men right behind the kicker and then the other 6 back about 10 yards.
Yep, they stagger people. I don't know if that they feel like that helps get some of their people a better running start or helps them get spread out a little bit more on the field where they want to be.
Best kick of the night for Dvorak. Tarnowski has to pick it up inside. It's 10, then slips as he comes out to about the 12. And so Wayzata will have their poorest field position of the night.
And Tarnowski is very angry at himself for letting that slip happen because he had a chance of getting out to about the 25 or 30 yard line. Looks like we'll see Ben Cunningham as the quarterback now.
Paul Cunningham.
Paul Cunningham.
Yep. Now he had the Trojans for the first 2 series of the game. In the second one, of course, he ended the drive with a 33-yard touchdown run. Then he went to receiver, and Sisk came in as the quarterback. And now, as Coach Lepel told us would happen, they alternate at QB, and it's Sisk at wide receiver. Ball loose on the first Wayzata play of the second half. And then Richfield saying they've got it, and they do.
My goodness. I didn't even see where that ball came free, John. I could tell by the way the Richfield defense was reacting that the ball was on the ground, but I had no idea where it came loose from. I don't know if we see it on the ground level camera. What do we have? We see that
Carl didn't have a good
gets
handle.
stripped. Yeah, he gets stripped right after he gets the ball, and didn't get a real good look at it to see who stripped the ball, but it was free, and Richfield took it. So see if they can capitalize on the Wayzata mistake here.
They've got a 1st and 10 at the Wayzata 13-yard line. And the give is to Duffy, and he loses the ball. They're trying to unpile the players and see who's got it. And it says Richfield football, 2nd down. But no gain for Duffy on the play.
I'm surprised. That's about the 3rd time he's lost the handle on the ball tonight, John. I don't know if they're... if it's a little bit slippery or what. I know with the little bit of wet, it does get slippery, but they're using dry balls every play. They're switching them in and out, so he must not be holding it the right way or something.
2nd down, it's Duffy again. This time surges to the 11-yard line. Gain of 3. Albers and Rory Nelson, the last ones to unpile for Wayzata. 3rd down and 7. Duffy tonight, 154 yards rushing on 11 carries. 1 rushing touchdown and also another one on the kickoff return. And Matt Scanlon does not get much. He got to the 10-yard line. The ball came out at the end of the play, but it was already whistled down.
Yeah.
They'll bring up 4th down and still 6 needed for a 1st.
Well, I don't want to venture to say we don't know another good 4th down play. I would doubt that they'll use the quarterback throwback in this situation, however.
Right of the formation here on 4th down, and they're trying to throw that way. They do again, and wide open is Duffy for the score. His 3rd touchdown tonight. Matt Scanlon again with the halfback toss.
That's the 3rd time they've run more halfback passes now than they have toss sweeps off of that play. And the first one was in the first half was picked up. Now we talked about running that as a 4th down play on the last play of the half, and they did a nice job of setting themselves up for other situations. They've only used that halfback pass in 4th and long situations, John. I don't know if you remember that or not, but that's the only time they've used it.
Dvorak for the extra point, and he got this one. And Richfield has the lead for the first time tonight, 27-20, with 7:26 to play here in the third quarter. Here's a look at the fourth down play again.
Well, this is nicely done by the Scanlons, setting the option up, and Matt Scanlon getting the ball off. You see Paul does a good job coming down the line of scrimmage and setting up stringing out the defense and pulling the defensive secondary up, and Duffy just sneaks down from his slot back position out into the end zone and lets Matt Scanlon flip it out there to him.
You got to think, though, that you've got to get somebody on Duffy as much damage as he's done tonight, and you've seen that halfback pass before.
That's right.
Duffy was wide open.
We haven't seen that formation, though. They use the wide slot, and you know that can be confusing to a secondary because you know that you've got to stop the run, but a secondary performer, secondary player's job is to make sure that they don't have anybody behind you in the passing lanes.
Very short kick this time by Dvorak. Still in play, and it's just going to be fallen on by Scott Wenner back of the 25, so it actually works out pretty well for Richfield. They got Wayzata down 75 yards from the end zone.
They certainly do, and that little squib kick like that really worked in their favor. That ball, if that would have gone out of bounds, Wayzata would have been able to take it at the 35-yard line. But with Wenner covering it, that puts it right there at where it was stopped.
Well, we've played just over 4.5 minutes into the second half. Wayzata has scored, Richfield has scored 2 touchdowns. Wayzata has had just 1 offensive play so far. Cunningham again, the quarterback. Handing off to his big fullback, Hansen, who's run back by the white and cardinal of the Richfield Spartans. Louis Oliveria, Aaron Bear, and a host of others defensively there for Richfield.
About 4 guys defensively met Hansen right there at the point of attack, and Hansen's carried the ball several times tonight, but his longest gain is only 8 yards.
He's got 29 yards unofficially and 9 carries tonight. Rob lost some yardage on that play. It'll be 2nd down and 11. Now they'll pitch it back, and Porcaro is knocked down for a loss. Back at the 20.
That toss sweep has worked very nicely for Wayzata tonight. And Porcaro just gets nailed.
Troy Glotty, middle linebacker.
Boy, Glotty fights off the block, too. He fights off the lead block of the pulling right guard very nicely and makes a nice ankle tackle on Porcaro to put it back another 3 or 4 yards. This is a first real passing situation, or first 3rd and real long that we've seen for Wayzata tonight.
3rd and 15. Now the backs move into a wing set, and they'll hand off to Porcaro. It cuts back to the middle of the field, and they got back the yardage they lost. And they'll bring up 4th down and 5. And Bill, this will be our first punt tonight.
First punt of the game, yeah. With 5:40 to go in the 3rd quarter, we get our first punt. But really a great defensive stand that time. Great defensive series by the Spartans, and they're going to get the ball back probably in somewhat decent field position.
Low snap. Kenny Enion gets it and does get it away. Line drive will bounce and be taken by Matt Scanlon back inside the 40. Gets to midfield. Matt Scanlon inside the Wayzata 45 to the 42.
Nice return by Matt Scanlon. He really shows some nice moves out there, moving on a wet field after he picks up the ball off the bounce. He gets a good block from Ben Duffy. You see he turns right here to his right, gets back against the green. Just can't quite run out of the last tackle there, but as we said, they get the ball in real good field position. They're inside the 45-yard line.
36-yard punt with an 18-yard return. Officials timeout. Richfield has the ball, 1st down and 10. at the Richfield, at the Wayzata 43. Hand off, Matt Scanlon fights through one tackler, but only gets a yard to the 42. Stop made by Chris Lindahl.
Scanlon doesn't quite pop like Duffy does, but he's a pretty good inside runner. And gets a couple of yards. Actually only got about one. That was a pretty good defensive play. I thought he actually had a little bit more than that.
Sybil, the up back of the three backs for Richfield. Paul Scanlon stepping up wide to throw. Now will keep the ball and runs it to the Wayzata 35. Tackle made by Rory Nelson. It'll be 3rd down and 2 for Richfield.
But it seems that Richfield has come with a little bit more balance in their offense. They really haven't thrown the ball much, but they're threatening more spots on the line of scrimmage. So they've spread the defense out a little bit, and that's what gives the running room. As we see, Scanlon fakes the run, gets back to set up the pass, has an open lane, and takes off.
3rd and 2, pitch to Duffy. He's got a 1st down and is spun out of bounds inside the Wayzata 30 to the 29, gain of 6. That stops the clock with 3 minutes and 39 seconds to play in the 3rd. Richfield leading 27-20.
You know, if Richfield scores on this drive, they're going to really put some pressure on Wayzata to open up their attack. If they don't score, Wayzata's still only one score away, but still they haven't done anything in this half at all.
Simula fights his way for about 3 yards after a play that looked like it would get nothing.
I don't know how he got anywhere. He was hit right at the point where the ball was handed off, and kept his legs going. And they never brought him down. He just kind of followed in behind his lineman and ended up getting a couple yards where there was nothing there.
Gain of 2 to bring up 2nd down and 8. That's Duffy going in motion. Scanlon, is he going to try to throw again? Well, if he wanted to, he slipped and wasn't able to. He's buried by 4 blue shirts. Back at the 35-yard line.
I really have no idea what that was because of Scanlon's slip. It could have been that toss sweep halfback pass again, but that's going to the well an awful lot of times in one half, in one quarter, to have it happen. I don't know if he was going to try to get back around or what. He just lost everything when his feet went out. Now they're in a long 3rd down situation.
Loss of 7 on that play. It's 3rd down and 15. Richfield a little confused. Will have to use the timeout.
This is a good timeout to take. You don't want to try to run a play on 3rd and long or really any situation, but you don't want to run a play in this situation with 8 people not knowing what's going on. And that's a good timeout to take. Get yourselves regrouped. Even if you don't make the 1st down, you haven't put yourself in any worse position.
Last year, Wayzata, Bill, with a fine regular season. They were 8-0, won the Classic Lake Conference in its first year, but then came out kind of flat in their first Section 8 AA game against Alexandria, and were upset on this field 7-6.
7-6, and that was a tough loss. That's a tough way to end the field because they were what we would say prohibitive favorites coming into the game. They were 8-0. Alexandria was the 8th seeded team in the region, and they just didn't have a very good game that night. I know Coach LaPelt wasn't real pleased with it. He felt like they should have had a much stronger offensive showing than Alexandria did, and they just didn't do anything with their offense. Credit to Alexandria for putting up a good defensive game.
The players, though, Bill, that have carried over are keeping that in the back of their mind. They want to be ready for the postseason here in '94. Scanlon's third down throw again through the hands of the intended receiver. This time it's Miller, Chris Miller. And it's a couple of passes here in the half that Richfield receivers should have had that they haven't come up with.
And I don't know if you noticed, John, or not, but Ben Duffy, the halfback, was coming right up behind him. You can see him right out here on the left-hand side. That if Miller catches that ball, there's a quick pitch over to Ben Duffy on the sideline, and there wasn't anybody there to stop him. That would have been another touchdown.
Richfield now will have to punt for the first time. It's Matt Scanlon at his 47 to kick it away. A high kick. It will hit, and Richfield will down it at the Wayzata 13. Kick of 22 yards with no return.
Well, Wayzata's going to have to get their offense and they don't have to score on this possession, but they need to put themselves where they can get some field position. They don't have field position right now. They've got to drive the ball out, get at least 2 first downs before they're forced to punt. If they're forced to punt on 3 and out here, it's going to be tough because Richfield's going to get the ball in very good field position again.
Again, they shift into the double wing. And now Tarnowski coming in motion back toward the line, and he'll get the pitch from Cunningham. And that play is going nowhere. A loss of 2 back to the 11-yard line. And it was Duffy coming up and making the tackle.
Well, the end of the last third down and long in the last series and now in first down this series, they've come up instead of using their normal wishbone set, they've come up into a tight slot formation on one side and a wing formation on the other, and this time they use a motion by the left halfback to come back to be the pitch back on the option. Still the same basic football play, just from a different set.
2nd and 12. And the give inside. Looks like Tarnowski or Redmond. Looks like 48, that's Tarnowski, yeah. He got back the yardage lost on first down, 2 yards to the 13, but it'll still be 3rd down and 10.
Nicely done defense by Brian Yusso and number 56, Bob Olson, make that play. I see somebody else, 57, that Phil Becker in there. So 3 guys coming in to make that play.
Third and 10 for Wayzata from their 13. Cunningham got bumped as he came back, now slides forward, took a real big hit from Aaron Bear, is able to hang on to the football and slides across the 15.
He was lucky he hung on to that ball, John. He really got railed by Bear. Bear raked him right across the chest and head with his shoulder and forearm.
And that will be the end of the 3rd quarter. Richfield, with 2 touchdowns there in the 3rd, take the lead, 27-20 as we head to the 4th. Stay tuned for more high school football here on Cable 12 Sports. John Jacobson and Bill Hunstock back at Wayzata High School. And it's a 27-20 lead for Richfield as we head to the 4th quarter. Bill, after getting 235 yards in offense in the first half, Wayzata comes out in the second half, and they get 1 yard of offense in the 3rd quarter. Now they're going to have to punt here on the first play of the 4th. Ken Yenyon at his goal line, a little trouble with it. He's able to get it away, though. And it takes a good bounce for him, and Scanlon will run away with it. And actually, Wayzata will come out pretty good from this. They're down at the Richfield 47.
Now, Scanlon did a smart thing by not trying to pick up that ball. When it's bouncing and skipping across the wet grass, you have no idea what direction it's going to go. And when the kicker takes that long to get the ball off, the defensive, the coverage people are already downfield 10, 12 yards further than they would be, and it's just too dangerous to try to pick up a skipping ball like that. So I think Scanlon did a good job, even though it cost him 10, 12 yards.
Paul Scanlon brings him up 1st and 10. Richfield, well, that's 47. And Scanlon on the keeper across midfield, lowers his shoulder and gets inside the 45 to the 44. Tackle made by Porsche. But a nice run on first down of 9 yards. Still, anyway, getting back to that yardage, Richfield did an excellent job at halftime and coming out of the locker room adjusting to what Wayzata had done so well in the first half.
Yeah, and they did a good job getting their offense moving. They knew they had to get their offense going. They'd done nothing offensively in the first half. Notice that Scanlon's limping a little bit. He must have banged his knee a little bit, got a shoulder pad on his right knee or something, and we've got a timeout here.
And Wayzata takes a timeout. Each team has now used one timeout here in the second half. Stopping the clock with 10:59 to play in the fourth. In our video response line, phone number 533-1710. Please let us know you're watching tonight's game between Richfield and Wayzata. 533-1710. Wayzata coming in at 3-0, 2-0 in the conference. Richfield did not have a non-conference game to start the season, so they have played just the 2 Classic Lake games. And the winner moves into at least a tie for first place, maybe sole possession of first, depending on what's happening in the Cooper-Hopkins game tonight.
It's really funny. A couple of teams that people expected to be pretty strong in the Classic Lake this year, Minnetonka, Edina. Hopkins has been a traditional power in this conference, and they're all struggling this year, so it's kind of nice to see things changing a little bit.
2nd and 1, and the handoff is up the middle, and a first down for Sabilla. He's still on his feet. And gets all the way down to the 15-yard line.
You know, he fumbled the ball, and they got about 10 more yards on it. He lost the ball just before he went down. And I don't know who covered it. Somebody was downfield. Maybe Ben Duffy was downfield to cover. We'll see. He comes through. Sabella comes through very nicely. And right there, he loses it. And Johnson, the receiver, downfield, covers the ball. Nice way to get an extra 10 yards.
From the 16-yard line, gain of 28. They fumble it again. The ball on the floor. And who got it? Richfield, lucky to get it back. Chris Miller this time recovering for the Spartans.
And Rory Nelson comes right through the guard tackle gap and nails Scanlon. We'll see, bang, right there. Rory Nelson does it, just wraps Matt Scanlon up big time right there in the backfield, knocks that ball loose. Fortunately for Richfield, they cover that.
Loss of 3, 2nd and 13. And off to Scanlon, and he loses more yardage for the Spartans.
And Paul Scanlon can hardly run right now. He can barely walk. And that looked like a broken play. It seemed like everybody stopped and nobody wanted the football. And again, that's a kind of play where
Kevin Neuenhouse and Alex Moore on the tackle. Neuenhouse and Moore helping to finish off.
Just looked like there was total confusion there. Sabella looked like he didn't want the football, like he wasn't supposed to get it, so. You can see Paul Scanlon obviously limping coming up to the line of scrimmage. That is not good for Ridgefield.
3rd down and 16 now facing the Spartans. And a handoff to the tight end and only a couple of yards for Mike Parton. And again, it was Rory Nelson helping to stop that for the Trojans.
You see that Parton just doesn't have much of a lane at all. Lane starts early, but Rory Nelson really comes in and slams in there. And Rory Nelson's a fair-sized guy. He's 6'2", 220 pounds. Defensive lineman coming through and staying at home on that reverse.
4th down and 15. That's Scanlon to kick it away. Trying to angle it towards the corner and does so. And this will be down inside the 10, down at the 7-yard line by Neil Athman.
And Athman did a good job of getting wide on the field knowing that that ball was going to be kicked towards that sideline, and not knowing whether it was going to bounce towards the goal line or not, did a great job of getting turned around and catching the ball. It might have gone 1 or 2 more yards bouncing out of bounds, but down there that close, you just as soon keep him pinned down as to let him have a free 20 yards.
First down and 10. Wayzata will start from their 7, and it's Sisk back at quarterback, replacing Cunningham, who goes to the wide receiver spot. Left side handoff is a short gain to the 9-yard line. Carl, the ball carrier, picked up 2.
Well, the Wayzata offense really hasn't gotten on track here. They haven't had field position at all, John. They've been backed up against their goal line the entire half. And Richfield has played some very good defense. They've had some nice negative yardage plays to keep Wayzata down.
Sisk on 2nd and 8, stepping up inside and takes a nice hit and goes down. Civila coming up and hitting him as he came to the 15-yard line.
That's another good play by the defense, but you'll see that Sisk turns upfield and Civila just blocks him down here. That is not a good tackle. The defensive back has to run through that tackle and wrap his arms around the ball carrier. Otherwise, a good running back sometimes will just get bumped and just slide his feet and keep his legs going, and it actually won't knock him down, just boost him along a little bit. That's a very dangerous type of tackle to try to make.
3rd and 2 for Wayzata. Long count by Sisk. I don't know if there was someone supposed to be back there. He turned and there was no one there, and Richfield comes in and makes a tackle for a loss of 4. And it's Brian Uso, the defensive end, making the stop.
Nice job by Uso. Again, it looked like there was, I agree with John, looked like there was a mix-up here. He wanted to turn and pitch that to somebody, and all he had was Brian Uso in his face. And now Richfield's going to get the ball in very good field position if they can handle the ball on the fly.
After no punts in the first half, we've had 5 here in the last quarter plus. Kenny Ennan again at his goal line. That's his best punt of the night. Fair caught by Scanlon at the 44.
A good field position for Richfield, and with 5:45 to go in the game, if they get 1 or 2 first downs, whether they score or not, Wayzata is going to have the ball a long way from the goal line. At this point in the game now, Richfield wants to be smart with handling the football and not leave it on the floor at all and give any kind of momentum to Wayzata.
First down, they give us to Matt Scanlon. Forward for 3, Rory Nelson on the stop. Scott Winter also in on the tackle. Gain of 3, 2nd down and 7.
They're staying with their dive. We haven't seen Ben Duffy touch the ball very much in this quarter, John. I'm kind of surprised at that you got your man that's averaging your best running back. He's one of the best runners in the conference, and he's not handling the ball.
Ball Scanlon keeping, and no gain there. Tackle made by Scott Alders, the outside linebacker.
Yeah, he couldn't make the handoff. He couldn't get down the line of scrimmage fast enough to get to Ben Duffy, and missed the handoff, so he had to keep it. You can see that he just didn't get there. He's really having trouble coming to his left. He can't push off his right leg very well, and he wasn't able to get there. That dive went by too fast.
Loss on the play. It's 3rd and 8 now for Richfield. That's Duffy in motion to the right. And the pitch is to Scanlon. Gets through one tackler, breaks another inside the 40 to 39, and far short of the first down. Winter able to put him away.
But Matt Scanlon does a good job of getting what he can here. I don't know if again, that toss sweep has been pretty well stopped, except for the 3 passes that got the 1 touchdown there. But now Richfield's going to be forced into punting again with about I think it'll be about 3:40 by the time they get the ball off here.
They're just inside the Wayzata 40. That's Scanlon out near midfield. Cunningham, the only man deep for Wayzata. It's a short kick. Cunningham will let it hit in front of him. Takes a Wayzata bounce. And considering how close they were, that's a pretty good field position for Wayzata. I mean, considering how close Richfield was rather to their goal line.
They got 14 yards, and they did a good job of not letting Richfield have a first down. Richfield gets 1 first down in that sequence, and Wayzata's not going to get the ball back till a minute to go in the game, and now they get it with 3.5 for 3:28. You know, they're a long way. They're 80 yards out, but judicious use of the clock and timeouts can make it happen, but you have to move the ball upfield. You can't be losing any yardage in any plays now.
First down, and San Wayzata, they'll be up their 21-yard line to start this drive. And this is it. If they want to have a chance to win this football game, this drive. They have the backup quarterback, Cunningham, in the backfield, and it looks like he's going to throw. Steps up, throws downfield, intended for Kenny Onion and intercepted by Matt Scanlon, and he carries it inside the 40, down to close to the 30-yard line.
I don't know if Cunningham got hit just as he was releasing the ball, but that thing just fluttered off his hand. It was 15, 20 yards off the mark. So we'll see the same type of play. And something happened there. You can see how far off the mark that ball was. And that just wasn't, he didn't throw that ball that way. It just happened. And Richfield gets a huge break. They make a nice break for themselves by forcing the bad pass. And once again, Matt Scanlon, we've mentioned his name quite a bit here in this second half. He scored a touchdown. He's thrown a touchdown pass.
First and 10, Richfield from the 33. And Matt Scanlon going to the middle of the line and no gain. But Richfield now, of course, would like to score or get a first down, but even without a first down, Bill, they're going to wind that clock down pretty well. It's down to 2:19 now.
Right.
Wayzata used 1 timeout earlier in this quarter. They have 2 left.
And so you have to use your timeouts after 2nd and 3rd down in this situation, which means you're going to lose about 40 seconds off the clock after between 1st and 2nd down. It means it's going to be about a minute and a half before they can call a timeout.
That's assuming Richfield doesn't get a first down.
That's right.
No gain on that play. 2nd and 10. Duffy spun around, got 2 yards, then driven back.
And now they should be taking their timeout right now.
Winner on the stop for Wayzata.
They had the chance to stop the clock with 1:45 to go, and now it's 1:25. They've lost 20 seconds right now, and with 2 more downs, Richfield can just run the clock down to about 15, 20 seconds if they do it right. They're going to be 11 people going for the ball here too.
3rd and 10 for Richfield, and now officials timeout. Did they use too much time? Yep. Delay of game on Richfield, stopping the clock with 1:08 to go.
That is not what they wanted to do. They wanted to get that ball off just before he blows that whistle. Now they may be forced into punting the ball on 4th down, which I'm not sure you want to punt the ball with a half a minute to go in the game. Something can go wrong with that kind of a play. You'd rather be just running the ball up into the line of scrimmage.
Well, I think that was our first penalty tonight.
Yep. It's really been an outstanding game. This has been an enjoyable game to watch, and it's been a lot of exciting plays happen here.
3rd and 15, Duffy motion left. Get off to Matt Scanlon, broke through a couple of tackles and then wrapped up by Porsche. And now Wayzata calling for the timeout. Gain of 6, it'll be 4th down and 9. The clock stopped with 1:02 to play. And Matt Scanlon up a little slow. You can see Cibula also slow. I said Richfield's got some guys banged up tonight.
Yeah, everybody's kind of limping a little bit right now. Well, Wayzata's going to get the ball back with about 50 seconds to go in the game. And they're going to be, unless they block the punt, they're going to be 80 to 90 yards out. It's going to be that's going to be a tough thing. And then they're going to have to make an extra point to tie it.
Wayzata with one timeout left.
I'm kind of surprised they didn't use their second timeout 45 seconds ago. That might have given them enough time to at least put the ball in position to score. You know, you tell the kids, you know, you have to get yourself in a position to win the game before you can win the game. You can't win it from 90 yards out. You have to position yourself. And they had a chance to position them 2 or 3 minutes to go in the game, and they didn't take that opportunity. And it may cost them right here in the last minute, because they may not have the ability to get into position to score.
Here they come after Scanlon, but he gets it away. Cunningham will let it go into the end zone. There's a break for Wayzata. They'll get the ball at the 20, still 80 yards away, but at least it didn't bounce inside the 5 and be down there.
Right, but even more importantly, it only ran 5 seconds off the clock, because if their ball would have been a little shorter and bounced around, they would have waited until the Richfield players touched it dead. It might have been another 6-7 seconds. So it's going to be an exciting last 57 seconds here. See if Coach LaPelt and his staff pull something out of the hat here. If they're just going to go straight throw the ball and hope they can do something with it.
All right, here we go. Sisk brings them up on 1st and 10 from the 20. Dropping back to pass, throwing it incomplete. Redmond in the middle of a crowd, the intended receiver, out near the 35. We haven't seen a lot tonight from Aaron Redmond after his touchdown run on the 3rd play from scrimmage.
We'll see, it's a straight seam route by Redmond, but Sisk looked at him the whole way, and on that shorter route, you can't do that. You have to get your eyes somewhere else, so that he can be set up, because he was covered by 2 people.
2nd and 10 with 53 seconds to play. Richfield looking for their first win over Wayzata since 1987.
This will be a big win for Richfield.
That was the 6-3 game, Bill. Sisk pitching to Tarnowski. The ball is loose, still loose, and I think Richfield covered. Spartans ball, and they're going to win with 47 seconds to go.
It's just a great effort by the defense there. I don't know. You will see. They played really nice job by 56. That's a great play by Bob Olson again. He's had several big defensive plays tonight. He forces the play, and then covers the fumble. That's a great job. It's a big win for Richfield. Puts them at the top of their conference for the first time in years. Kind of brings Wayzata down a little bit, putting them at least in a tie with Cooper.
Yeah, Wayzata will get Cooper next week at Minnetonka. Scanlon just dropping back on one knee with 30 seconds to go. So Richfield will go to 3-0 on the season. Todd Olson, far right of your screen, 4th year as the head coach. Plus his father, Warren Olson, the coach for many years over Brooklyn Center High School.
Todd was also a couple years at Noka Ramsey Community College.
He was assistant to Dick Walker, of course, was the Richfield coach for a number of years. Again, Scanlon this time toppling back, and that will be it. Richfield on Wayzata's field, blowing I guess you would say a minor upset. Wayzata hasn't lost in the 2 years of the Classic Lake Conference, and they have a halftime lead, 20-14. Richfield comes back to take it 27-20.
Very nicely played game. Richfield made some nice adjustments at halftime. They came out and they really shut down the Wayzata offense early on in the 3rd quarter. Got a nice break on the fumble to get their 2nd touchdown to take the lead, and then their defense took over completely from there, and that's all it took.
All right, Richfield winning tonight 27-20. Duffy with the big night, I think, offensively, with the 99-yard kickoff return, a 78-yard run, and then the winning touchdown pass caught from Matt Scanlon. Duffy with 3 scores tonight for the Spartans. For Bill Hunstock and the rest of our Northwest Community Television crew, I'm John Jacobson. Thanks for joining us tonight for high school football and Cable 12 Sports. Final again, Richfield 27, Wayzata 20.
Classic Lake. Richfield's defense came to play. Matt Scanlon late in the game with a pickoff against Wayzata. Ben Duffy had 134 yards rushing tonight and a touchdown, a kickoff return for 100 yards, but it was the defense with a minute to go recovering a big fumble to seal the victory. Richfield beat Wayzata tonight. The final was 27-20.
And it's Kennedy beating Lakeville 15-7. Umbrella weather in the Classic Lake, and it led to a classic play for Richfield. Watch this one. Wayzata's kickoff scoots into the mud and through all the Richfield players. That's when Ben Duffy picks it up, and he started putting them down. Duffy's uniform must have been soggy and slippery. He broke tackle after tackle after tackle, and after he ran the kickoff return of a lifetime here, it's 100 yards. By the time he barely reached the end zone, Richfield beats Wayzata 28-27 thanks to that wonderful return of the kickoff.